My name is William Justice, and you asked for it, so today I'm going to give it to you, or at least I'm going to try and do my best. I've updated quite a few of my effects based on your feedback and created a new timeline effect for you to download and use in Davinci Resolve 17. The updated effects include the text zoom, Animate Express, as well as the new Popup Text effect that I just did in my last video. The new effect is a counter, which is kind of an update from a video I did probably about a year ago this time. This one's updated based on your feedback. It goes up, down, and does a lot of different things. If you're interested in Davinci Resolve, creating videos, making effects, subscribe to my channel. I try to create interesting videos about Resolve and show you how to do different effects and use different techniques. Support my channel, like this video, and comment below. I definitely love to hear from you. I've been creating quite a few of these timeline effects lately. Moving into next year, I have some big plans for some great visual effects and really interesting videos. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to download and install all the new and updated effects. All right, let's get started. First up is the Popup Text effect. This is an effect where it pops up and has a little pointer that you can point to something on the screen. So Dan asks, could you adjust these speech bubbles and turn them into thought bubbles? Interesting question. Rix Can Do It also wanted some speech bubbles. I would also say I wish it included the bubble pointer. Okay guys, done. You asked for it, you got it. With the new effect, you can switch between the pointer and the speech bubble. Okay, I have a clip of myself here. Let's do some speech bubbles. So what we want to do is go to the effects library and click on titles and scroll down to where you see the effects. There's just text pop-up ellipse and the text pop-up rec. So let's use the ellipse on this one and we'll drag it onto the timeline. And we'll click on it and we'll use the fusion overlay and we'll position it right up there. So to change this from the arrow to the speech bubbles, all you need to do is click the effect, and in the controls area, you can change it right here where it says pointer. You can say none and it's going to take it away, or you can say bubbles and it's going to put some speech bubbles in there for you. So to adjust the bubbles, you go to the bubbles area here and open this up. You can move them around. You can adjust the size of the bubbles. You can change the aspect, so if you want to make them a little flatter or more round, you can do that. You can change the bubble angle where they're pointing. So you can say if we wanted to point to the other side, we could move it over here and like that. So we got some thought bubbles here, move them up a bit. You can adjust the distance, and the scale is the relative size from the smallest to the biggest. And those are the speech bubbles. There was a bit more feedback on this pop-up text effect. Billy asked, can the backgrounds be made transparent? The answer is yes. The updated effect has an option to blend the background so you can kind of create a little bit of faded look and have it overlay with some transparency so you can see behind it. To make it transparent, it's really easy. All you got to do is go to, let's close out bubbles, go to box settings and adjust the blend. And we can kind of move the blend down and you're going to see we have a transparent ellipse here. All right, next up are my transition effects. This includes the Animate Express and the text zoom transition. So about Animate Express, which is my transition to move things on and off the screen, Henry asked if I was planning on updating it to use the new AnimCurves feature in Davinci Resolve 17. I had actually already done this. It's up on my website, and let me show you how it works. Okay, let's take a look at the Animate Express updates. I've renamed it to just Animate Express. All of my effects now have just on them, so they're kind of all sorted together. Let's take a text title and drag it onto the timeline and click on it. Let's give it a name. We'll call it Animate Express. Let's update the font and bring it down a little bit so we can see it. Okay, so to use Animate Express, we go to Video Transitions. You can either search for just Animate Express or scroll down to the Fusion Transition section and you'll see just Animate Express. And this will be there after you've already installed and copied the files. So I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. So to use this, you just take it and drag it right onto the front of the clip, the text, and that's going to set a transition for the text coming onto the screen. So there's all sorts of options here. You can do direction, distance, you can animate the size, alpha, and the blur. You can spin it around, do all kinds of things. The new options are down here at the bottom, so you can see that there's an in and an out. And this is coming from the Davinci Resolve 17 AnimCurves. And this lets you set the speed at the beginning and at the very end when it stops. So if you want it to come in fast and stop slow, or come in slow and go fast, you can really do whatever you want. So an example here is you might set this to none, and let's set it to back. So it's going to come in and then bounce back. Just like that. Now let's take this transition and we'll hit Alt and we'll move it to the very end. So we're right here. And we want this to do the opposite thing. So in the beginning of the transition, when it first starts, we're gonna have it go back, and then we're gonna have it go out, let's say on a sine. So it's gonna go back and then come off the screen. So you can use these to adjust the timing and the smoothness of the animation coming on and off the screen. So along with the Animate Express, I've also updated the text zoom transition to use the AnimCurves, which is going to let you set the in and out transitions and give you more flexibility with how the animation looks. Okay, we'll copy that. The text zoom transition works the same way. You see we have text zoom here. We'll go ahead and drag this on. So let's click on this and we'll set it to solid text, solid background so we can see what's going on here. So this is the basic zoom effect. You can do the same thing with the easing, the in and out. One thing that's interesting with this one is that I've set it up so that you can actually do custom. So you can use these custom options. So for example, say if you wanted the zoom text to come in and stop, you can move this up and move this down. And this is, the animation kind of runs left to right. So it's gonna come in and it's gonna hold at about the same zoom level and then come off the screen. So you see the text stopped right there and then zoomed up. So if we wanted the text to be a bit bigger, let's move this up. So we're just adjusting the curve of the transition. So let's see what happens. So it zooms in and right here along the curve, it's gonna stay about the same size and then zoom off the screen. So it gives you a few more options with the custom curves, and you can also use the regular easing with the in and out, bouncing back and forth. Okay, do you have time for one more? I do. Let's check it out and see what we got. I did a counter video where I counted down using expressions and had some animations going on. And it was just a basic countdown going down by numbers. Robert asked if we could have this count by hours, minutes, and seconds. I created a new counter effect that you can drag and drop on the timeline that will count down or count up by hours, minutes, and seconds. Let me show you how it works. Okay, let me show you how to use the counter real quick. So let's go back into the toolbox in the effects area. We'll hit titles. We're gonna search for just counter flips. Let's take that and bring that into the timeline, and we pretty much have a counter ready to go here. So this is gonna count down by default. And this is the flip one. The pop transition does a little bit different. So if you want the countdown to be longer, all you need to do is just drag out how long the counter is on the screen, and the time is gonna automatically update. There are a few little caching quirks here with this thing, and all you need to do if you're having this problem is just go ahead and change one of these settings, like the up or the down. So let's have it count down. And now you'll see it's gonna count down from 30 seconds. Okay, so what are the different options with this? Obviously there's the count up or down. So if you set it to count up, it's gonna start at 0 and count up. It does take a little bit of time to render. I wanted to get it a bit faster, but it didn't get it quite the way I wanted. So that's counting up. We can adjust the font, change it to whatever font you want. We can change the color. That's going to be the text color right there. We can adjust the size. So if you want to have bigger numbers, you can do that. There's also a level. If you don't want to have the rectangles behind the numbers, you just take the level and drop it all the way down and you have numbers only. Let's take it and move it down into right onto my shirt here so you can kind of see it. So the level is for the rectangles. You can also uncheck solid and set a border width if you just wanted to have a border around your numbers. Let's reset that. Okay, the width is the width of the box that the number's in, and the height is the height of that box. So you can adjust it to really whatever you want. If you want to have really big numbers, let's make the size bigger, like that. We can adjust the corner radius. So you could actually do this all the way around if you wanted to make kind of a circle. The number spacing is the space right here between each of the numbers. You can adjust that, and then the colon spacing is the space between the numbers and the colon. The last setting down here is the color of this rectangle, so we can click that, and if we wanted to have it a yellow rectangle like that, maybe some black text. So if you want to just text only, a quick way to do that is, let's make the text white, bring the level down. Okay, there we go, we got the white text now. And you can take the width and just bring it all the way close together. And you just have a number only counter. This is going to be minutes and seconds. There's a flip version and a pop version where it flips or pops as the numbers are changing while it's counting up or down. This effect can be a bit slow to render. I spent quite a bit of time trying to optimize it. It's a little bit slow, but it definitely works. So with this one, there's a lot going on behind the scenes with expressions. Feel free to download it, open it up, and pull it into Fusion to kind of see how I set it up. If there's enough people interested in kind of digging into the details of how I set this up with the expressions, and leave comments below. If there's enough people, I'll probably make a video about it. So to install these effects, you can go to my website, buildjustice.com. So on the home page, click the Timeline Effects option, and that's going to take you to all my timeline effects. And these are for Davinci Resolve 17. This is going to have titles, transitions, as well as some drag-drop effects. You can scroll up and down the page to see some of the different effects that I have. In each section, there is information on the right-hand side of how to install it. Basically, all you need to do is download the files from my website, copy them into the correct location in the Davinci Resolve file structure, and restart Resolve, and then they're going to be available when you go to the timeline, into the effects area, into titles, transitions, as well as effects. Also, below each one, there is a link to a YouTube video that goes into a little bit more detail on each effect to tell you how to use it. Okay, that's it for today and this year. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of these timeline effects. I have some bigger things planned for next year and can't wait to get started on it. It should be a lot of fun. Subscribe to my channel, like this video to follow my progress. I'll see you soon.